Public procurement refers to the process by which the public sector, such as government departments or municipalities, purchase goods and services. In this video, we will be looking at public procurement within the South African government through its implementation of the Preferential Procurement Policy Framework, as well as through the 5 principles of public procurement used by the South African government. Welcome back to Public Administration 101, proudly brought to you by Kano Consultants. For professional advice you can trust. In this series of Public Administration 101, we aim to provide a clearer view and a basic understanding of the South African public administration. So make sure you check out our other videos under this channel. Also remember to subscribe to this channel. And don't forget to turn on the notification button to be alerted when we publish new videos. In this video, we will cover the following topics: the definition of public procurement, the purpose of public procurement, the various types of public procurement, the 5 core principles used in public procurement, and we will also cover some of the following laws governing government procurement in South Africa. And these are the Preferential Procurement Policy Framework Act, the Broad-Based Black Economic Empowerment Act, also known as the BBEE, the Public Finance Management Act, otherwise known as the PFMA, and the Municipal Finance Management Act, known as MFMA. As an introduction, let us first define what public procurement is. Public procurement refers to the process by which governments and state-owned enterprises purchase goods and services from the private sector. The main purpose of public procurement is to procure goods and provide services and infrastructure on the best possible terms. The other function of public procurement is to promote broader social, economic, and environmental outcomes. Generally speaking, there are 6 types of procurement methods. And these are: open tendering, restricted tendering, request for proposal, 2-stage tendering, request for quotations, and single-source procurement. The actual names of these could vary from one government to another, but the process remains the same. In South Africa, government officials are required to follow 5 core principles when procuring on behalf of the government. And these principles are: value for money, open and effective competition, ethics and fair dealing, accountability and reporting, as well as equity. We will now explain each of these in detail. Value for money can be defined as a combination of price and quality. In terms of public procurement, this means that government officials should not only focus on the lowest prices provided, but also consider the quality of the goods or service. Public procurement should also be based on an open and effective competition. This principle essentially means that the process must be transparent and fully understandable. In order to ensure that there is no favoritism towards any bidder, government officials must therefore ensure that everybody has a reasonable chance to compete for tenders. The 3rd principle of the South African public procurement is ethical behavior. This principle is a large part of public procurement. Therefore, government officials must conduct themselves properly without compromising their integrity. For example, government officials are prohibited from accepting bribes or gifts from potential suppliers. The next principle of public procurement is accountability and reporting. This essentially means that government officials must report on every step and action in the procurement process to ensure that they are held accountable for their actions. The last principle, but certainly not least, is that of equity. This principle is very important in the South African context. The principle essentially ensures that government implements measures to support a majority of industries in general, but more importantly, that government promotes the development of small to medium businesses, particularly businesses owned by previously disadvantaged individuals. This brings us to the legislation aimed at supporting historically disadvantaged individuals, which is the South African Preferential Procurement Policy Framework Act. Act No. 5 of 2000. The main objective of this legislation is to give effect to Section 217 of the Constitution. Section 217 essentially provides that, when a government institution in South Africa procures goods and services, such institution must do so in accordance with principles of fairness, equitability, transparency, competitiveness, and cost-effectiveness. The Preferential Procurement Policy Framework Act also establishes an obligation for the government to award preferential procurement points to enterprises owned by historically disadvantaged persons, including Black Africans and females. Another legislation that the South African government considers during its procurement process is the Broad-Based Black Economic Empowerment Act. Act No. 53 of 2003, which was amended in 2013 by Act No. 46 of 2013. The Broad-Based Black Economic Empowerment Act, commonly referred to as the BBEE Act, aims to address the legacy of the previous apartheid system by ensuring the participation of Black people in the South African economy. Another legislation that governs the procurement process in South Africa is the Public Finance Management Act. Act No. 1 of 1999, or PFMA, for short. Section 38 of the PFMA requires government institutions to develop and maintain an appropriate procurement system, which is fair, equitable, transparent, competitive, and cost-effective. The PFMA also regulates national and provincial public-private partnerships, also known as PPP contracts. These are contracts between the public sector institution, which is the government, and a private sector, being non-government entities, where the private sector agrees to perform a function that is usually expected from the government. To learn more about the PFMA and its other provisions, please check out a separate video under this channel, titled Introduction to Public Finance Management Act. And maybe this is a good time to remind you to subscribe to our channel. Thank you. Now let us get back to this video. Another legislation that governs the procurement process in South Africa, particularly in the local government, is the Municipal Finance Management Act. Act 56 of 2003, or the MFMA, for short. Chapter 11 of the MFMA stipulates the various processes that the municipality must comply with in its procurement and supply chain management processes. We have also uploaded a detailed video relating to the MFMA and its other provisions. Feel free to check it out. We have titled it Introduction to Municipal Finance Management Act. In conclusion, public procurement makes up a substantial portion of taxpayers' money. Governments must therefore ensure that purchases carried out by them is based on sound principles of value for money, open and effective competition, ethics and fair dealing, accountability and reporting, as well as equity. Procurement performed by governments must also be efficient, and officials must follow the highest standards of conduct in order to ensure that there is quality of service delivery and in order to safeguard the interests of the public. To learn more about public procurement, particularly in South Africa, we have included helpful links under this video. You can also leave us a comment below to let us know how governments can improve on their public procurement. This has been yet another video in public administration, proudly brought to you by Kano Consultants. For professional advice you can trust. Remember to subscribe, like, comment, and share this video. Also make sure that you continue the conversation by tagging us on social media at ConsultKano or #ConsultKano.